Welcome back, everybody. We are here with another episode of our Band-Maid documentary done by Ohrenje. 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 I got it right this time. So, today we are doing Akane. I'm excited for this because I really don't know too much about her. I know that she is an amazing drummer, and she has so much spirit when she is back there just going to town. She's the one member that I don't want to say that I've neglected, but I don't know, it's weird. Like, I appreciate what she does and what she has, what she gives to the band. But I don't know, it's never been one of those things where, like, I don't even know what the right word is for it, honestly. Like I said, I appreciate everything she does for the band. Like, you can tell that she is there. She's not one of those musicians that just kind of like hides in the background while everybody's doing their stuff. So, I am hoping that we learn a tremendous amount about her today. I'm excited because this series has been phenomenal so far. We have the Psyche and the Konami one already up on the channel, and they were both amazing. We learned so much about them, and I can't wait, obviously, to get to the Misa one. And then, of course, on Friday, we have the 3-part of Miku. Now, when we do the one on Friday, it's actually going to be combined into one long video. So, we're going to have a pretty long one on Friday, taking all 3 of those parts and smashing them together and enjoying as much Miku as we possibly can. So, today, we're obviously going to focus on Akane. Let's go check out some information about this amazing drummer. So, real quick, I noticed with some of the other videos, and you also pointed them out as well, that some of these subtitles were cut off. So I've been messing with my recording system this morning and YouTube, trying to see why it was doing that, because it shouldn't have been doing that. And we were using it in full screen mode. So today we're going to try it in theater mode and see if maybe that does a little bit better. I'm hoping it does, because after going back and watching it during editing, it was kind of annoying seeing that it did that. And by that point, I would have to redo the entire episode, and by that point, it would also lose its effect. So I didn't want to go and do that because it takes away from the initial response that we're here for. So I kept it in there like that. So hopefully with this one, it will not do that. Like I said, I've been messing with it last night, this morning, and I do apologize if my voice is a little off during today's episode. I've actually been dealing with like a really bad sinus thing the last couple days, so I've got some coffee and some water here with me, and I've got some medicine, so I'm hoping this will be gone. It picked a very bad week to do this, so please bear with if my voice gets a little weird. So let's jump in. Let's check out what Akane's got going on.
What the hell is this? Ooh, that was way too loud. Sorry about that. All right, who is the next one? Let's see here. Oh, but she was the one. Wait, she's also a DJ? Really? Okay then, let's talk about Akane.
A DJ and a drummer.
Akane was born on December 14th in Hyogo, a prefecture very close to Osaka. She lived with her mother, her stepfather, and for a short period of time, with her stepbrother, who is 11 years older. During her youngest years, Akane was very unsociable and the one to do whatever she wanted, like leaving kindergarten to go home or not participating in games and activities with the other kids. She was, as she likes to say while laughing, a real problem child. Note that in Japan, children go to school and come back home on their own very early, sometimes at 3 or 4. Over the years, she became more and more friendly and discovered that talking to other people wasn't that bad after all. During her school years, she loved home economics and art, but hated studying. She was also bad at physical activities. Who would have thought? Being a huge fan of manga, Akane was easily influenced by The Prince of Tennis or Slam Dunk to try different sports, but soon realized that her motivation was gone pretty quickly. She's the kind of person who wants to try everything that could interest her, but nothing lasted very long, except one thing. And this is something that we've seen in Saiki and Konami's childhood. Akane has loved music since she was very little.
Playing the drums on her back.
For her, it started with piano in kindergarten and lasted a few years before she stopped because the joy wasn't there anymore. Although, she can still play some songs on the piano, even today.
Hang on. So far, 3 of the 5 have piano backgrounds. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. It's pretty.
She continued for 5 years with trombone, but it wasn't something she saw herself pursuing. At the end of her trombonist career, she realized that a lot of her friends joined bands, so she went to a lot of live performances and music festivals with them. That's how the idea of being in a band started to grow in Akane's head. So she joined the K-On! Club to form a band. To get an idea of what it was like, you can watch the anime K-On! Akane started with the guitar, but soon realized that her hands were too small to play, and it was impossible for her to continue. The bass was off the table too, as you can imagine, and she's no singer, at least according to her, so what's left? Yes, drums. And once Akane tried a drum kit, she felt that that was it. While learning drums, she started to listen to rock bands like El Garden and Bump of Chicken to end up making covers of their songs. She also learned about the band Maximum the Hormone and their female drummer, Now. Akane was stunned to discover that the drummer of this hard-rockin' band was not a man. This was the kind of drummer she wanted to become, so she kept this picture of a strong female drummer in her mind as a role model. It was, and still is, important to Akane to have an impact on anyone who thinks that a female drummer can only play soft and not hard. With this image in mind, she practiced every week at her school, the only place that had a drum kit available, as she didn't own one. The other problem was that she was alone in her club, so she could only practice by herself. By the end of her second year, she wanted to do a graduation live performance, so she gathered some of her friends from her old symphonic band days and performed a copy of the group Pez, a Japanese instrumental band consisting of a trumpet, a saxophone, a double bass, a keyboard vocalist, and of course, drums. You might be surprised to learn that Akane wanted to work as a hairdresser after graduation. But as she started drums, and was 100% committed to improve her playing skills. She completely changed her mind and instead wanted to enroll in a music school. Against the will of her teacher, but with the support of her parents, Akane went to the Tokyo School of Music for 2 years to follow her passion. She was surrounded by talented musicians who wanted to become professional. Even though she was just a beginner in her class, she worked very hard and played every day to catch up with the other students. It was during those years that she joined a band who did a combined live show with another band featuring the one and only Kanami. She immediately acknowledged how good Kanami was with the guitar and wanted to know more about her. It turned out that they lived very close from each other, so they quickly became friends. Kanami used to ask Akane to play drums on her demos before sending them to record companies. Unfortunately, Akane's band didn't stay together very long, and she was back to square one. But Akane was resourceful, so she started a part-time job as a waitress in a music restaurant in Yokohama. She could watch live performances and sometimes have a sit behind the kit to play when the restaurant closed for the day. She told the manager that she plays drums, so he asked if she could play right now. And she did. Akane played Highway Star from Deep Purple, and the manager agreed to let her play. He even offered to train her. From that moment, Akane trained every day to improve her skills and become a better drummer. We are now in 2013, and Band-Maid is actively looking for 3 female musicians to join a rock band while wearing maid outfits. I say 3 because at this time, they weren't searching for a lead vocalist yet. Our little pigeon already recruited Kanami, so the band was looking for a drummer and a bassist. As you can imagine, Kanami talked to Akane about this opportunity. She trusted her with her demos, so why shouldn't she? At first, Kanami mentioned the label and Akane was excited, until Kanami revealed that they are recruiting for an all-girls band. In case you wonder, she hadn't even mentioned the part where they would all have to be dressed in maid outfits. Akane had too many bad experiences from all-girl bands, so she wasn't really thrilled about this idea. But the restaurant she was working at was about to close for good, so she took some time to think about it and finally decided to join Kanami. What about the maid outfit, you would ask? Well, she was reluctant at first, but how do you know that it's bad without even trying? After all,
that's fair.
If Kanami is already there, it'll be okay, right? So she was willing to give it a try anyway. Kanami sent her some demos, and Akane found the music really cool right away. And the image of an all-girls band dressed like maids playing this kind of music was really interesting for her. She felt that her reluctance against all-girl bands and maid outfits was fading away as her motivation kept growing. Just a few months later, a 5-members acoustic band was created under the name Mochi to Cheese. What's the link with Akane, you could ask? Well, Akane and Kanami were both part of this side band with 3 members from the band Predia, an idol group formed in 2010 under the same agency as Band-Maid, Platinum Passport. They started to perform in the streets with acoustic covers and even performed live a few times over the 2 years of activity. The band also covered Forward, a song from Band-Maid. A single was released in September 2015, but only 2 months later, they sent their last tweet and posted their last entry in their blog. After that, we did not hear from Mochi to Cheese again. Their YouTube channel is still available, so you can at least watch a fraction of their performances.
It's interesting. So, learning that Maximum the Hormone was one of her influences for getting into drumming is really cool. I mean, y'all saw the video that we have on here with them and Adarashi Gakko. That was amazing. So knowing that that was her influence is super cool. It's also interesting, like I said a minute ago, knowing that 3 of them so far have piano influence. Of course, Akane has sampled in so many instruments. That's amazing. Like, being able to play that many. I think the only instrument I've ever touched and played has been a tuba. And that was back in middle school. But seeing the connection between her and Konami this early, and then knowing that they were in this side band, it's interesting. That's very interesting. And then the fact that they actually covered one of Band-Maid's songs is kind of funny. I'm glad that we did this, because knowing now just how diverse of a musician she actually is, I love that. Knowing that changes so much. Like, we already had, like I said at the beginning, respect for her because she is a phenomenal drummer. But knowing all this other stuff now, just that's one of the reasons why we needed to do this. You know, we needed to learn all of this about them. And I mean, we've loved them for almost a year now. And the fact that you can still learn about these people that you've been respecting for so long, and I'm just, yeah. Let's keep going.
Let's get back to Band-Maid. With all those years of practice, Akane had a solid base of drumming to bring to the band, but she didn't have a lot of practice with the twin pedals on high-paced songs. She did buy one when she was in high school, but she gave up pretty quickly, only to come back on it later and work as much as she could to try and master it. With Band-Maid, Akane had to use twin pedals for the first time with Thrill. A painful first experience for her, but the feedback was incredible, so the band members wanted to add more twin pedals in the next songs over the years. This is something that Akane wanted to do as well, but remember that from 2016, the songs are written by Konami, and Konami loves fast-paced rhythm.
速いの
Yes, she
は
does.
一番速い BPM。
I think it's 225.
225。
お
惜しいう
ちには225ない
ない
ね。
200。
じゃあ次225を目指しま
Oh
す。
no.
Usually, Konami's songs are based at about 170 beats per minute, but Akane struggled to play the twin pedals over 130 beats per minute because of her lack of solid practice on twin pedaling. But she wouldn't be defeated that easily. Band-Maid is a hard rock band. They needed to be hard on their music, and Akane had to be able to play faster. So what do you think she did? She thought about how she moves her legs and found ways to improve her movements to be able to play faster. And what's the best way to do it? Practice, practice, practice. Muscle memory. Akane tried to move her legs every time and everywhere she could as if she was playing the twin pedals, so her legs remembered those movements. She was also pushed by Konami, who kept including a lot of twin pedals in her songs. A challenge that Akane couldn't refuse to face, as she is not the type to admit that she can't keep up with a song. After a lot of work and thinking about her playstyle, Akane is now able to use twin pedals anytime, in any song. know that Band-Maid performed with a man once? No? Do you want to know more about this story? Of course you do. It was in 2015, on December 4th to be exact, at the Shinjuku club Science, that Akane was replaced by a male drummer for a performance. Why, you might ask? Akane mentioned in an interview around that time that she just had an injury and she needed time to rest and heal. Don't worry, it wasn't a life or death situation, as Akane came to this performance disguised as a staff member to support her bandmates. She tweeted 2 months later with a photo of her holding a lot of drumsticks with messages written from fans from all over the world.
Aww.
Band-Maid has the best community of fans. Am I right? Now, I'm sure that many of you maniacs know that Akane likes to eat. A lot. She can eat 120 bowls of soba when on average, a man eats 70 bowls and a woman 50. Or even 30 plates at a kaiten sushi, a restaurant where plates of sushi are placed on a conveyor belt that winds through the restaurant and moves past every table, counter, and seat. And believe me when I tell you
that would
30
be so cool.
is a lot. She loves eating food so much that you can see her eating in a lot of the music videos over the years. I'll bet she really enjoyed filming those. Akane was invited for a few episodes of Band-Maid Nippon, and they played a game where Miku and Saiki had to guess her favorite food outside of Japan.
ご飯
ご飯
何米ってこと？
ご飯
米？
ピザ
どういうこと主食の
主食っていうの
メインのもの
メインのうん
こってりじゃないでしょきっと。
こってりじゃないね
パエリア。
パエリアです
ね、勘で言ったら当たったし。
あ、どうなの
At the creation of Band-Maid, Akane was designated as the leader as she appeared to be the most responsible. But now, every member has a different role equally important, and having a leader was just not relevant anymore. Akane is also famously known for goofing around every chance she gets. Even during live performances. And she's not the only one, as the other band members try to make her laugh by pulling faces. Sometimes, it gives us some very special moments to watch.
I remember that.
And sometimes, it just works too well. Band-Maid is really putting on a show when it comes to live performances, because these 5 hard rockin' maids are really enjoying themselves, don't you think? Alright, it's time to talk about Akane's drum style. But let's keep it simple, shall we? And as I didn't become a musician since our last video on Konami, I will let today's special guests talk to you about this very interesting subject. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to hear what they have to say about Akane. Let's go.
Band-Maid is a group of individuals that are just such heavy hitters on their instruments. When they come together, the overall sound of the ensemble is amazing. The rhythms, the harmonies, the quality of the vocals, the songwriting, the skill sets of how everything is woven together is a very amazing listening experience. I've only seen the videos, but from moment one, it had me hooked. Now, Akane's drumming is, when you see someone that is so fluid and relaxed and they're playing at such a high velocity and the demand is so great, the level of respect is top. It is top for me.
Very true.
So she has a way of laying back in the groove and just flowing so well, but a lot of the times these tempos are burning, like they're going fast, but She has this thing where it's like effortless mastery. She lays back. There's all these augmentations and interactions within the orchestration of the song with everybody else. Like there's always these complicated things happening. But when you watch her play, the legato, like it's smooth. It's like you don't really notice how difficult everything is. And for me, that's the major selling point, because anytime something seems like smooth and easy, it's not. It's because the person is so good. They've put in so many thousands of hours on their instrument, and their ability to have all that ensemble listening go on allows them to be that effortless mastery that I just brought up. I will never get tired of watching Akane play.
He's 100% right.
To be just completely honest, it's inspirational, and it just makes me want to be a better musician.
Akane is a very impressive musician. For many reasons, one of them is her constant evolving. It's almost a rule among musicians to get to a certain level and then stop because that's good enough. But there's no such thing as good enough for Akane. She's constantly getting better, not only in her skills as a player, but also as a writer. There's not a single dull moment in her writing. There's always something different and interesting and creative happening. Her creativity has no limits. She almost never repeats herself.
Okay, first off, I love his shirt. Second of all, the fact that he has the child in the background wearing a little Band-Maid shirt with Miku on it is absolutely adorable. I love that. But they are 100% right about Akane. Everything she does back there, like my cousin, he's a drummer. And when I watch him, I have no idea what he's doing because I don't play. But seeing it, it looks so effortless. Even though it is extremely technical, it is effortless. And it's the same with her. Like, with how fast their songs are, with how intense their songs get, she is still back there, smile on her face, like nothing is bothering her. There's no strain, nothing. She is a monster back there. We also don't talk about her enough when we do their songs. And I think that's part of the reason, you know. One, sometimes the camera doesn't even focus on her, which is kind of sad. But the other is that she's there and she's just flowing so well. And I mean, these guys are hitting it right on the head by talking about her. It's amazing.
That thing where the second verse is completely different from the first, but you can still tell it's the same thing. It represents the same thing. That's very impressive writing. Akane is a drummer's drummer, but she's also everybody's drummer. What I mean by that is, to someone who's not familiar with the drums, she sounds very impressive, she is, but it's not impenetrable, it's not tedious or self-serving. She's always serving the music. You can always groove to it. But when you do know what she's doing, your mind goes blank for a second, because you can write these incredibly intricate parts that are also beautiful. Recent example of that is in Influencer, the transition that goes from first chorus to the second verse, and that part afterwards with the cross sticks and everything. I think they call it the A melody. There's so much happening there. It's so fast. It's so different. And not different from the first verse, different from everything I ever heard from her. There's more music in those, 15 seconds than in 99.99% of all music ever recorded. And you can still dance to it. Then you see her playing live. Doesn't even look like she's doing anything that hard. She doesn't call attention to herself. She just smiles and plays the impossible. She hits very, very, very hard with so little effort. She's so fast. She's so precise. But she's also expressive. There's feeling in her playing. And that's what music is, or should be, is taking your instrument and amplifying your emotions to touch people's hearts. Akane does that. She hits very hard with incredible speed and precision. But she's also putting herself, her feelings into her music. She's joy, she's happiness, fun to be around. She jokes around, she says random things. And her playing is also like that. Her drumming, her music is joyous, is happy, is pleasurable and surprising, and connects the songs. And she's constantly getting better at it. And that's very impressive.
Where do I even begin with Akane? Oh, I've tried covering her drums so many times. Never really got them right because they're so complex. She's definitely the hardest drummer I've ever tried to cover. The skills required alone are insane, but it's not only the skill, it also requires an insane amount of memory skills because she's constantly changing up her drum patterns, keeping things fresh. It never gets stagnant, but it's so hard to remember all the different little changes she makes. And somehow she's still able to smile through all of it while she's playing. She plays with so much power, so much energy, and perfectly complements all the other instruments around her. You can tell from what she's playing that she listens to her fellow bandmates and does what she can to accentuate their parts instead of just playing underneath them or playing over them. She gives the song exactly what it needs. Such a well-rounded drummer. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Once again, I've been telling you the story of someone who has been in love with music since forever and tried many instruments until she found the one that was perfect for her: drums. Even though she was alone in her club during high school, without a drum kit to practice on at home, Akane did her best to learn the basics by herself and was able to join a music school and pursue her goal of becoming a professional musician. From a child who wanted to try everything but couldn't find the motivation
Always
to keep
smiling.
at it, to a truly passionate musician, Akane kept doing her best to live for and from music. Working at a music restaurant to end up playing drums there, joining Band-Maid with Konami and within this already incredible band, learning and evolving towards this image of a strong hard rock female drummer she always wanted to be associated with. Akane wanted to prove that gender has nothing to do with her drumming and how hard Band-Maid's music is, and we can all agree that she does this every time she hits her drums. No
It's
matter
so
how
weird
difficult
hitting
it
the
was,
drums while they're wet.
no matter how many obstacles she faced, Akane destroyed everything in her way so she could achieve what makes her special as a person and a drummer.
So, I realized that the one that we just watched was actually an older version, but I went back and looked at the one that was done a couple months ago, and they looked to be about the same. So there doesn't look like any information that we've really missed. Kind of weird that the older one was what came up first when I looked up Akane and Ohrenje. But it's good to know that we didn't miss anything. It looked like the order of things was a little bit different. Like it talked about her anime love at the end and her influence of Maximum the Hormone at the end of it. So it's kind of like it just flipped things around a little bit. A little bit of a different format, I guess. Really glad that we didn't miss anything, though. That was really, really insightful, though. I thoroughly enjoyed learning what we did about Akane today. Because seeing... What's the right word? Seeing how she went through so much to find her niche at the drum set, I really appreciate that. You know, because she's able to do so much. And you wouldn't know that just by looking at her. Like, we look at her just initially and you think, oh, she's just a fantastic drummer. When in reality, she can play the guitar, she can play the piano, she can play the trombone. We heard her sing, and she has a fantastic voice, by the way. I did not know that. And then, obviously, she's a killer drummer. And to round that all off, you have her personality, which is just the biggest ray of sunshine. I mean, she's always smiling. She's always energetic. And like hearing her say that she struggled a little bit with the double pedal, but she overcame that. Like she kept at it. Her devotion to always getting better is amazing. Like that right there is a huge inspiration. She doesn't let anything stand in her way. Every single one of these women so far share that in common. And that is honestly one of the things about this band that sets them apart. You know, I mean, yeah, Love Bites, they've had their struggles. We know that Ginger has definitely had their struggles. But it's just, there's something different with Band-Maid. And that's what we love about them, Any roadblock that is set before these women, they just smash through it with a smile and keep going. It's amazing. I love them so much. I mean, that's why we're here. To appreciate just what they give to us. They're putting themselves out there for us. So, thank you. If they see this, thank you. And thank you all for helping get us on this path, because they have changed so much about how I look at music. And honestly, with how their music just hits you on a day-to-day. We've talked about how Band-Maid is like a medicine. We need at least one song a day. And that helps get you through. So, make sure you listen to your daily Band-Maid song. This way your day gets better. I will catch you all with the next episode, where we cover one of my favorite bassists in the world, and our barefoot assassin, Misa. Till then, I will catch you all later.